It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather. Here's your host, Abby Dyer.
Good morning, and welcome to your Thursday. It's going to be a much better day across the Ozarks. We are talking about much calmer weather today. Yesterday, we had that round of rain and storm activity out early for the morning drive, lasted through about lunch. A second round for the southern Ozarks, really, that lasted through after dark. And now we are just seeing much quieter conditions, decreasing cloud cover. That's in the story today. And we need a little bit of a break from the rain and storm chances. And that's exactly what we're going to get this afternoon. So, some good news heading our way. Thursday is going to be pretty nice, but a headline in the forecast is that temperatures will be heating up. Talking about temperatures getting back into the 90s this weekend. Summer's not over yet, and it's going to let you know it. Good news. If you have plans to head to the lakes, the pools, do all the summer things before school starts back up, you can get all of that in this weekend. However, we are going to be dealing with a few scattered storm chances. Overall, though, today, the weather setup is pretty nice. As we look at the surface map, I see a frontal boundary that has pushed south of the area now. That means that high pressure is in control for us today in the Ozarks. It's the big blue H, and that's what we like to see. It always indicates that we're going to have sinking air, really a nice, tranquil day. Relative humidity, not too bad today. And I also have high temperatures that are going to be creeping back up into the mid 80s after the cloud cover kept us a little bit cooler yesterday. We have 80s today, but those 90s, they're back as early as tomorrow. As I mentioned, it is going to be another hot one on Friday, and we keep the heat around for the weekend. In fact, that's kind of the nature of our weather pattern. Really, it's like every 3 or 4 days, we see these numbers go up into the 90s, and then they fall back into the low 80s. And they go back up into the 90s. And that kind of looks to be the pattern as we round out the month of August. Quite frankly, as I look at some of those long range charts, that's what I'm seeing, a little bit of ebb and flow with the temperatures, but nothing that's too cold or too hot. 80s and 90s for the most part as we begin that transition into fall-like weather. The other headline for us is that I have a few chances for scattered showers and storms. I already told you the weekend's going to be hot, but it does come with at least a few storm chances in the forecast. These are not washout storm type chances, though. So don't cancel any plans if you're looking at the weekend and thinking, okay, what's the better day for outdoor activities? I think it's probably going to be Saturday because we'll have some rain in the overnight hours, Friday night into Saturday morning, bit of a break. And then again, as we head into Sunday, I see just a small chance. I'm talking like 20 to 30% chance for some isolated showers. It's not going to rain out your entire weekend, but we will have some rain around. So it's something to keep in mind as we get closer to Saturday and Sunday. High temperature today, though, probably one of the nicest days of the week. 85 degrees in the forecast today. I have decreasing cloud cover coming our way. As we move into the weekend, I've got numbers back up into the 90s, 90 degrees on Saturday, 90 on Sunday, and then we'll see temperatures that get back down into the 80s as we head closer to the early part of next week. You see that scattered chance for storms there Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Again, not washout chances any one of those days, but we will be dealing with just a little bit of rain in the area. Around the country, if you'll recall, yesterday I was talking about those high winds for the Hawaiian Islands. In fact, there were high wind warnings, red flag warnings, all sorts of wind headlines for the Hawaiian Islands. Well, you probably saw the headlines that they are creating major, major, major problems for the Big Island and Maui. In fact, evacuations ongoing. There is Hurricane Dora way off the coast, like 600 miles away, but it's close enough. And the overall weather pattern is impacting the Hawaiian Islands enough that it is just causing these huge, huge issues. Wildfires in Maui, people were actually jumping into the water to escape the flames. Really bad situation there. Hospitals being overwhelmed because of smoke inhalation and injuries from some of these evacuations. Really bad story there if you know anybody vacationing or just out in that area. The wind looks to persist, but I don't have it as strong today as we go into the weekend. So good news is that the winds calm down there. But a big reminder for everyone as we get closer to fire season that these things can happen. And that's what we're seeing happen in Hawaii. So bad deal out there. All right, it is time for the brain twister question this morning. I'm going to show you the question that we had yesterday, but it's a really exciting day again on Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather because I have convinced Joseph Arnold to wake up early. and answer our brain twister question again this morning. Joseph, thank you for joining us bright and early at 5 a.m. I know what you've been waiting for is to answer this very important question that I have posed to the Ozarks. So thanks for being here.
Yes, that's true. Thank you so much for having me. There's a lot on the line because as of right now, I have an undefeated record, 1 and
Yes,
0 on the
yes.
show. So I'm a little nervous, a lot of pressure, a
It is
lot
a
of
lot of
tension.
pressure. All right,
Yeah.
let's review the question from yesterday.
Okay.
The question was, which of these is not a real job? Was it A, an elf whisperer, B, a scuba diving pizza delivery man, C, a wild, I have to say this word slowly because I mess it up all the time. Wild fowl. I always want to say wild fowl. It's one of those for me.
Like a baby horse.
Oh yeah, a wild fowl buoyancy tester.
Uh-huh.
I mean wild fowl like the birds, not the
Yes.
foals
Yes.
like the horses.
Uh-huh.
Yes, a wild fowl buoyancy tester, or D, a professional mourner. Which of these is not a real job?
Okay. Well, normally I like to be really methodical and go through things and eliminate
Uh
things and
huh.
analyze. Today I think I'm just gonna go with my gut because B, C, and D all seem like they could possibly be real. All of the little components are real. Wildfowl, those are real, and they need to float. That seems real.
We
I
should test
see.
that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, then we just created the job, so that can't be the right answer. But elves, last I checked, those are not real, and so jobs pertaining to elves cannot be real in my mind. So I'm gonna go with A, elf whisperer, not a real job, putting it all on the line.
Final answer.
Final answer.
I've always wanted to say that. You are correct.
Ah,
2-0.
all right.
Yes, an elf whisperer. And maybe this question was a little bit easier than I thought it would be. I thought this was a good question because these sound ridiculous to me. All
Yeah.
these other ones.
Mhm.
So as I do, I looked them up. The scuba diving pizza delivery man,
Mhm.
a real job and one that is like so in demand in the scuba community. There is this underwater hotel in Key
Ah.
West or in the Florida Keys where a lot of people go to
Mhm.
vacation to dive. Underwater hotel, and people like go there as a destination to do these dives. So they have an employee that dives and delivers pizzas. I mean, this guy
Wow.
is busy all day long delivering
Earning those
pizzas.
tips,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know. How much do you have to tip?
Yeah.
Probably more.
Yeah, probably a lot.
Yeah. So that one is real. And
Okay.
the article that I read said like people go for that job and
Yeah,
it will
makes
be,
perfect sense.
yeah. And it's going to be a job for a long time as long as
Uh-huh.
that establishment exists. The wild fowl buoyancy tester,
Yes.
I guess people need to know, you know, is a duck more buoyant than a
Goose?
goose? I still don't know, but we
Someone's
could
gotta
ask them
test.
because we do have people that know this and like
Yeah.
evaluate that. And then professional mourner, I had never heard of
Mhm.
this either. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, it sounds familiar. I
Yeah,
don't know.
apparently, yes, this is a thing. People are paid. They consider themselves actors, but they will show up to funeral services or memorial services and, comfort the family or just like create conversation in the room. And sometimes they can even deliver a eulogy for the
That's
family.
really nice.
Yeah.
Keep
So,
that in mind for me, just in case. I
oh
want a
my
big
gosh.
I don't want to go out with a whimper. I want
Okay. I will
lift some of
write
these
that
people up
down.
for me. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you for that thought. Uh, but Elf Whisperer, let's
Yes.
return to the elves. Um, this is not a real job, but there is a woman who is known internationally in Iceland who
Mhm.
is an elf whisperer, or she says she is, and it's a volunteer job.
Oh, but it's a
Let's say
volunteer
that.
position. Oh, I was about to
There's
say.
no benefits package, but she spends her life going around to different construction sites. Like when new construction or new roads are going to be built in Iceland, she will go make sure there aren't any elf homes or elf communities because she's an
Mhm.
elf seer that are going to be impacted by this. She has been arrested like 25 times because she will protest these roads going in because they're going to disturb um, villages where these
Yeah,
elves live.
sounds like a worthwhile calling.
Well, it is a volunteer position, but I guess of the list, it is the one that is probably not going to be replaced when she decides to retire
Okay.
from her volunteer position. So,
All right.
congratulations. A
2
it
and 0.
is 2-0. All right, you want to take a stab at the one for tomorrow? I will not give the answer, but
Okay.
I'll show you the answer. We'll leave the listeners with the question for tomorrow, and then
Okay.
we can see if you get it right the next day. So just take a
Okay.
stab at it, but I won't tell you if you're right or wrong. Okay.
I will. All right.
All right. So the Perseid meteor shower happens this weekend. How fast are Perseid meteors going when entering the Earth's atmosphere? How
Mm,
quickly are they going? Do you think it is 133,000 miles per hour,
mhm.
212, 100,000, or 450?
Wow. So I normally work in metric, so my figures are gonna be a little off.
Okay. Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah. Kilometers per hour, I'm gonna convert that. It's definitely, I'm very sure of this, that it's 133,000 miles per
Okay.
hour.
All right. Joseph's going A.
Oh,
If you would like to be Team Joseph and also go A, you can do that over on the Around the Ozarks Facebook page. And I will reveal the answer to you early tomorrow morning. Joseph, thank you. And congratulations early this morning on Wake Up Weather.
thank
See
you
if you're
so
right.
much.
See if Joseph is right early tomorrow morning. I will have that answer for you. And make sure if you need weather information up to the date all day long, head to aroundtheozarks.com. We've got you covered there. Thank you for listening and have a fantastic day.